Hey, what's going on, fiends? So, Amazon has ordered an animated series based on one of my favorite horror comic limited series. That series is Image Comics' Wytches. Wytches was written by Scott Snyder, who you may know from his run on Batman as well as American Vampire and Swamp Thing, and was drawn by Jock, who has an extensive history with the British comic company 2000 AD and is currently at this time working on Batman. Now, Wytches ran from late 2014 to early 2015, and it told the story of a family, the Rooks family, who were trying to get a new start on life after a tragic accident that happened with their daughter's sale. They go to a new town in New Hampshire to begin their life anew and to get a fresh start. Well, things don't quite go the way they want. The terrible things they left behind, let's just say, are much worse now in the new town that they're living in. I'm not going to give away anything about the comic. If you haven't read it, you need to freaking read it, because it is amazing. It's 6 issues with a one-shot that came out in Halloween 2018. So it's about 7 issues roughly. But I am so super stoked. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm really excited about this. I wish it was a live action series that we were getting, but hey, it's an animated series, and Image and Amazon so far have been batting 1,000 with their animated series when you look at Invincible and how good that was. So I have high hopes for Wytches. I really do. Now, I don't know how many seasons they're going to be able to squeeze out of 6.5 to 7 issues of a comic book, but if you just give me one season of a perfectly made animated series, I am completely on board. So I have the article from bloodydisgusting.com, and I'm going to pull it up for you guys now. bloodydisgusting.com. Wytches, Amazon orders animated series adaptation of horror comic. And yes, let's go back here real quick. That is one of the most iconic panels in the comic book. And if you notice, that's your witch. Only spoiler you're getting from me. So, it says, beloved limited horror comic series Wytches, written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Jock, is finally set to get an adaptation. Variety reports that Amazon ordered an animated series based on the 6-issue comics published from October 2014 through March 2015. The Image comic series tells of 17-year-old Sailor Rook and the Rook family as they move to a small New Hampshire town following a tragic incident. They want to start over but realize there's an evil lying in wait in the woods just outside of town. Ancient creatures that feed on our deepest fears and hopes. As the title indicates, it's a horror series whose lurking evil is witches. These witches aren't your average run-of-the-mill witches, but petrifying creatures made even more nightmarish thanks to vivid art and coloring. A somewhat bleak but compelling family drama merged with a horror story that declares its brutality in issue 1. It's an addictive read. Yes, it is. Snyder and Jock will executive produce along with Plan B Entertainment, Project 51 Productions, Kevin Cold, and Amazon Studios. Plan B had originally intended to adapt the comics into a film. Man, I wish they could have. Shortly after the first issue was published, but it was announced that the plans had shifted to a TV series in 2021. Variety details highlighting the long road to adaptation for the horror series. Wytches is possibly my most personal work, Snyder told the outlet. It's all about the monsters that dwell beneath the surface of things, both literally and figuratively. I've been intimately involved with this animated series from the start, and I can honestly say that I love this show as much as the book, if not more. The animation brings the incredible art of Jock to life, and an episodic format expands the world of Wytches, taking the characters and mythology to terrifying new places. Jock and I are deeply grateful to Plan B Entertainment, Kevin Cold, and Amazon Studios for believing in Wytches and giving us a chance to make this show dark, personal, twisted, and very special. In other words, the comics creators are heavily involved with this upcoming animated series. Stay tuned for further details as they arrive. And this right here, if you can tell, this was the cover for issue 1 of Wytches. If you haven't read the comic, you can go on, hold on, let me get off this screen right here so y'all can see my pretty face. So if you haven't read the comic, you can go on Amazon right now and get the digital edition of it for Kindle, and it's about $7. Really not expensive. All 6 issues. It doesn't have the Halloween one shot from 2018. You would have to buy that separate, but hey, for $6 or $7 for a 6-issue series that is freaking amazing, it's totally worth the money. It's practically a steal. But I would say, if you haven't read it, please, I implore you, please get it and read it. It is an amazing, amazing story. You get very invested in the characters, from Sale to Charlie and Lucy and the rest of the family. And there's so many plot twists and so many things that you don't see coming. To me, it's some of Scott Snyder's best work. And I've read a lot of Scott Snyder. Like, I am literally a huge American Vampire nerd, and I would go as far as to say Wytches might be better than any of the American Vampire books. That's how strongly I believe in this comic. And I think that this show is going to be equally as good. And I also am very, very pleased that Snyder and Jock are both heavily involved in the making of this animated series, so we know we're not going to get something that is based on a comic only in name, like we've gotten so many times from so many other shows, animated series, or whatever. So this is obviously a passion project, not only for Plan B, but for Snyder and Jock as well. But I am super excited. Like I said, I don't know if you guys can really tell. I am very, very stoked for this. Jeff Bezos, you beautiful bastard. Just keep feeding me those Image comics, those indie imprint goodness in animated, live action, movie, whatever. I don't give a shit. Just keep giving it to me, because I think we always get lost in the fact that there's just Marvel and DC, and that's not fair. There are comics out there in the indie side of the house, creator-owned comics, that I will put up against anything from the big two. Anything from the big two. But anyway, guys, like I said, go read Wytches before this show comes out. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be. Like I said, it's only 6 issues, so there's a very limited amount. There's a lot of story there, but it's a very limited amount of books that you can really draw it out, unless Snyder is going to give us Wytches 2, and that way it leads into a season 2 of an animated series, which I think there was rumors that he was going to do Wytches 2, but it just hasn't happened yet. But hey, Scott Snyder is like one of the most in-demand writers in comics, period, point blank, end of story. That's a wrap. But yeah, you guys, y'all let me know down here in the comments below. Are you excited for Wytches? Have you not read Wytches? Or just say hi. I don't know. Anything. But while you're also down there, would you please hit that subscribe button, Hadouken that notification bell, and as always, this has been your old buddy John. Fuck, I'm so excited we're getting witches. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking amped. But this has been your old buddy John, and I'll see you again next time. Yoo-hoo!